well.
Yeah, they always come.
Where are we supposed to stand?
Yeah, we have to do the pledge.
All right.
Okay.
Feels like it's
Well,
close.
school
We'll open the meeting with a moment of silence. Amen. Okay, let's have the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have any public comment on agenda items? All right. Then at this time, we would like to have our second public hearing on the 2025 Community Development Block Grant. Jennifer.
Okay. So I am Jennifer Stroud-Peterson, Executive Director for the Monroe County Redevelopment Authority. The purpose of today's public hearing is to obtain citizen views and comments on the Monroe County's proposed use of $663,596 in our fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant funding, including our entitlement allocations. Based on the amount of funds to be received, Monroe County, along with East Stroudsburg Borough and Stroudsburg Borough, proposes to allocate their Community Development Block Grant funding as follows. Monroe County has selected owner-occupied housing rehabilitation, which is in the amount of $325,061. This will complete approximately 10 homes for low-income homeowners in Monroe County, which is 80% AMI or less, and the AMI in Monroe County is $104,400. So for a family of 4, that's less than $83,500. Program administration for Monroe County is $71,354, totaling $396,415. East Stroudsburg Borough has selected to do street and road improvements, partial improvements to Walnut, West Broad, and Park Street in the amount of $125,991, with program administration going to the RDA through a cooperative agreement for $27,861 for a total of $153,647. Stroudsburg Borough is our second entitlement and community in Monroe County, and they're choosing to do a street and road improvement on McConnell Street in the amount of $93,098, with program administration going to the RDA through a cooperative agreement in the amount of $20,436, totaling $113,534. The public comment period will continue through October 13th of 2025, and comments can be directed to myself, Jennifer Peterson, at Monroe County Redevelopment Authority by phone number 570-421-4300, email at director@monroecounty.rda.org, or via mail, and that's Monroe County Redevelopment Authority at 701 Main Street, Suite 502, Stroudsburg, PA 18360. Public comments will be accepted through October 13th on our grant submission. On October 31st, 2025, Monroe County will submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for federal fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant funds, and the commissioners will consider passing a resolution approving the application for the 2025 CDBG and its submission to Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development at the October 15th County Commissioner meeting. That's everything.
Okay.
Questions?
Are there any questions? All right. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, under old business, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 17th meeting?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, can I have a motion to amend motion 2025-258, dated 9/17/2025, to change the payroll amount approved from $1,534,353.21 to $1,534,684.54 to include taxes that are the county's responsibility.
Motion?
Could you give me a motion,
Oh,
Sharon?
so moved.
Okay. Second.
To amend, yeah, the motion.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Proclamations and certificates. Can I get a motion to approve the following proclamations and certificates as listed on the agenda?
So moved.
Second. For discussion, I think Commissioner Lauer is going to read one of them.
I'd love to.
Okay.
That's, we're going to present it.
All right.
Lauren?
Yes, here we are again.
Yes, that's right.
You do great things. Thank you.
Yeah. This has to do with domestic violence, and whereas domestic violence remains a pervasive issue that affects individuals of every age, gender, race, religion, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic background, and whereas domestic violence undermines the safety, dignity, and well-being of individuals, leaving lasting physical, emotional, and psychological harm, and whereas from July 2024 through June 2025, Safe Monroe provided 2,387 hours of counseling and 230 hours of legal advocacy services to 827 individuals impacted by abuse, offered safety and shelter to 56 adults and children for a total of 6,304 nights, and responded to more than 1,807 calls through its 24-hour crisis hotline. And whereas raising awareness about domestic violence is essential to prevention, to supporting survivors, to holding abusers accountable, and to building safer communities, whereas resources and protection are accessible to all, and whereas the Monroe County Board of Commissioners recognizes the importance of standing together as a community to ensure that every individual can live free from violence, abuse, and exploitation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Monroe County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Monroe County, and commends the tireless work of advocates, service providers, and community members dedicating to ending domestic violence. John D. Christie, David C. Parker, and Sharon S. Labrador, and Bob Rastestacourt. Congratulations, and thanks for your work. You have a few moments. Listen, I was at the, what was really very moving was at the butterfly let go or release or whatever. They kind of flew all around. That the young lady, the young mom that spoke was very, very moving. So right there was one of the issues.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you, Sharon, thank you, Dave and John in absence. But my name is Lauren Peterson. I am the Executive Director at Safe Monroe, formerly known as Women's Resources. We still kind of keep that tag because some people don't remember that we've changed our name. But as Sharon said, I can speak till I'm blue in the face about the work that Safe Monroe does and the people that we help, but hearing it from those who've experienced domestic abuse, have experienced sexual violence, it really drives the point home of the importance of the work that we do at Safe Monroe. We are truly a 24-hour, 7 days a week. We don't take holidays. Domestic violence doesn't take a holiday. We have that 24-hour hotline, and it really is. You will get a live person. It's not an answering machine. You will always get a live, trained, specifically trained person on that hotline to talk to someone when you're in a crisis, to access our services, to understand your rights as a victim. And having the support of the community and having the support of local government is so critical to the work that we do, because we cannot do this work in a vacuum. It really does require all of us to stand together to say that abuse is not going to be tolerated here. We are going to believe survivors. We are going to support survivors, and that we are going to hold abusers accountable. And we really appreciate the work that this community, Monroe County, has done to help Safe Monroe work on achieving this mission. And we appreciate, of course, recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Isn't the hotline, do you have a lot of volunteers that man that?
Unfortunately, not a lot. One being here today.
Well, that's where
Yeah.
I was leading to.
Yes,
We have a volunteer
unfortunately,
with us.
during COVID, we did lose a good bunch of volunteers, and it's a hard work. It's overnights, it's a couple of overnights a month. There is a backup on staff, you can take it from home. The training requirements for that class are about 80 hours long to even go onto the hotline. It's the only required training of that magnitude for a volunteer position in the state of Pennsylvania. It's intense. But it really does prepare you extensively for what you might come in contact with, what you might need to handle on that hotline call. So the training requirement is very critical for that to do. But yes, volunteers, our staff people, really 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Doesn't matter if it's 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., Christmas morning, New Year's Day, it doesn't matter. We will take that call. We are here to help, and we will physically go out to hospitals for people who respond to a hospital, whether they've been sexually assaulted or domestic abuse, to be in person with them if they'd like some support, not just over the phone. But for Domestic Violence Awareness Month on the 23rd, we have our annual Candlelight Vigil. It's also Purple Thursday on the 23rd, so it lines up perfectly, so wear your purple. And if you do like, if you want any more information, please check us out on our website, safemonroe.org, as well as follow us on Facebook. We have a couple other things going on this month to help raise awareness, so please follow us if you haven't already, and thank you.
And the 23rd is in the.
Yes, right
courthouse.
here in Courthouse Square is
Yeah.
where we'll be having our Candlelight Vigil.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I gotta scoot over
Okay, thank
to my
you.
next adventure.
Okay, well, in light of that, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I would like to point out, Stan, the Letty man, is here, and he and Kim Lippincott, I know, I just talked to them yesterday about another issue, and they were placing a young lady who was in an environment where domestic violence was an issue. There's also drugs, and that's why the Letty program was involved, and we're able to place her in a safer place. So thanks for the good work that you and the DA's office does along those lines as well. So the other ones will be recognizing Christopher Shelley for the A. Mitchell Palmer Award, which he'll be receiving in 2 weeks.
He's a police officer.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
And Sharon was able to attend the Monroe Career and Technical Institute grand opening, which just occurred last week, and represent us there. It's a great new facility, and we're going to be able to help educate a lot more children in the trades, which is great. And then President Judge Arthur Zulik is retiring this year, and we're recognizing that. He was just honored at a dinner over the weekend, but there'll be a unveiling coming up in November for a portrait in the courtroom. So I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Those are all passed. All right, under new business, if I can get a motion
So moved.
to approve items 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Probably just 1 and 2.
One and
Okay.
two.
We'll do
Probably
one
just
and
1 and
two.
2, yeah.
Okay.
You'll do that?
Okay, I make a motion for 1 and 2.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, travel authorizations. I have a motion to approve the travel authorizations as listed in the agenda.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 4 for the Area Agency on Aging. Items A, B, C, and D. Can I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? I will say, I'm encouraged to see a new vendor for food there, for the congregate meals. That's one of the complaints I got even before I was elected, was that we could use some better food in our senior centers. And I've heard good things about Ryan's Deli, and I'm excited to see we're engaging them for food. Starting today, it looks like. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the acknowledgement of receipt of financial statement for the period ending 6/30/2024 for Carbon Monroe Pike Drug and Alcohol.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. For CareerLink, execute the following subrecipient agreements with Pocono County's Workforce Development Board as listed through in 1 through 4. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. For Children and Youth Services, if I can have a motion to approve items A through E.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under the Commissioner's Office, if I can have a motion to approve items A, B, and C.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Under Fiscal and Grants, if I can have a motion to approve items A through G, no, we'll go through H.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And under 10, for the Maintenance Department, I can have a motion to execute the agreement described in letter A.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye. But do you remember, just so people know the loader building, some people may not know where that's, it's in East Stroudsburg, and it's for senior citizens. And it's a really nice location for everyone to join and meet, and that's what has to do with it.
That's where they're gonna get the good meal starting today.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. If I can have a motion to approve number 11 for the Pennsylvania Northeast Regional Railroad Authority.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. For the Probation Office, if I can have a motion to approve letter A.
I don't believe they voted on this one and this one.
Second?
They included it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, you can have a motion to approve letters A through H.
So moved.
Second? Sort of discussion, we'd like to thank Robert Brown, Rachel Burbank, and William Cullen for serving on the Affordable Housing Board. And,
Jeff Gilbert.
what's that?
Jeff Gilbert also.
We're going to welcome him to the redevelopment board, yes.
Yeah.
We're welcoming new members, Edwin Prudencio, Amanda Valley, and Jeremy Woe to the Affordable Housing Board.
And Paul London.
Oh, and Paul London. So thank them for serving. And then I'd like to thank Sonia Wilbert and Charles Green for serving on the redevelopment board, and acknowledge the appointment of Jeff Gilbert and Melissa Mersini to the redevelopment board.
So moved. Did we ever do
I think we did it. And, yeah, all in favor?
that? Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And number 14 for the Treasurer's Office, ratify the opening of checking account with First Keystone Community Bank for Local Victim Services Fund.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And number 15, capital outlay purchases. Approve the capital purchase report dated 10/1/2025 totaling $5,002.94.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Miscellaneous. Commissioner Lavender, do you have anything?
Not today.
Okay. I would just like to announce Friday at 1, we'll be unveiling the county bell for Monroe County in the Bells Across PA program. That's going to be held over at the Monroe County Historical Association.
And David, explain that. I think what's really important is we had a lot of people enter. Quite a few.
Yeah, no, we got at least, I think it was around 7 entries for it, and the winner was Linda Stockman Connors, was the winning artist, so she got the bell delivered maybe a month or two ago, and did a lovely
It's lovely.
painting on it, and we're gonna unveil that on Friday at 1, and the bell is sponsored by the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau. So you're welcome to attend. There isn't, Danielle at America 250 PA would like RSVPs, so her email is on this, and there's some sheets in the back. But it's Danielle at america250pa.org. If you're going to attend, just let her know you'll be there. And okay, with that, we will go to public comment. Do I have any public comment today, Teresa?
So my statement to Teresa Pesh, Elder Township. So my statement today is in regards to student surveys that are given throughout the county. And each school district has the right to say no to the student surveys. One such survey is the Community Partnership for Gun Safety. The other survey that goes out every other year and is due for this year, 2025, is the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, which is otherwise known as a Youth Assessment Survey. And I'm just like to say two things. One is that I know it's not up to the county commissioners, but I'd just like to announce that it would be appreciated if surveys were more of a, when they were given to the parents instead of a opt-out, which is very secretive in the school districts. They all have their own way of having parents opt out of surveys. Is if we could promote more of an opt-in, so parents actually know what is in the survey. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that when these surveys are done, and actually both surveys are I don't know if I want to say sponsored or funded by the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. And what's concerning is with all the data collection information that's going on nowadays and data centers going up, and townships in Monroe County are working on their planning ordinances because they foresee these data centers going up. Well, what's in the data centers? Well, it's everybody's information, and that includes information about children. So the other concern that myself and many people in Monroe County, parents and other people, is what is happening when this data is being collected in these surveys. So the Carey Group is doing it for the Community Partnership for Gun Safety. I don't know if it's Buck Harrison that's collecting the information and having the data stored somewhere and whatever they do with it for the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. But how is it being stored? How do we know that it's not going to parties outside of Pennsylvania? And also, why is the Pennsylvania, I don't know if you're going to answer this, but why is the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency so involved with these surveys? Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. I mean, I did want to remark, we do get a lot of not a lot, but people that come to meetings and ask questions and things. And we're also getting a lot of right to know requests. And I would just encourage you just to call us and meet. You can meet with us. I know, not too many meetings ago, someone came in and had an issue with how I voted on something. And I made a statement. I just encourage anybody to call me anytime. I gave you my phone number. We're happy to meet with you. Jen Barclay is here from our fiscal office. She's glad to sit down with anybody that has questions about our grants and wants to know details, and can just meet with you and talk to you about it. But it makes it a lot easier than some other things. We're getting right to know requests that oftentimes the people that send those are very concerned about how our tax dollars are spent. And when we get those requests, we're tying up our people answering those, not doing the work of the people, but simply answering questions that may or may not be relevant to what you're really looking for. If you just come and talk to us, we can answer those pretty easily in many cases. As far as
Or we don't have the information, we may have to go to we can help you direct folks to where they may find the information.
right, that's true. So anyway, I would encourage you to call us and meet with us. We're happy to discuss those things and get you the information you're looking for. And it might be a lot easier if we have the conversation. I did want to say too, we get criticized on this gun grant and surveys. And one of the things, the survey data is our data. It's to be used in how we approach the training for gun safety, or whatever we determine. From those surveys, what's the best way to proceed? That's the reason it's done. It's our data. It's not going to be shared with others. It's for us. That is my understanding. And Dr. Tolino, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is it's our data. It's not something that's going to be.
As far as I know, you are correct.
Yes. Okay. And that's the purpose of it. Personally, just trying to. We got criticized because we didn't stop the suicide at a previous meeting, and so some people are criticized for not doing enough. Some people say we're doing too much. It's a tough spot to be in, and I've experienced it. My daughters came up through Stroudsburg School District. They've had classmates that were lost to gun violence or gun suicide, and we've responded to those things as we felt was necessary at the time. Sometimes I wonder, after one of my daughter's classmates committed suicide, my wife knew somebody who did school assemblies, and she quickly called him, and he came in and did an assembly for our school. And as a result, a number of people reached out for counseling and the things that they needed. But some of the stuff I'm hearing back from the community, that people that come here, is like, well, should she have done that? Should we have first asked every single parent if it was okay to do that? And we're just trying to help our kids. Our kids are in our schools. We don't want to see people get hurt. So, everything we're doing is designed to help our community. That's why we're doing it. So, those are the goals, and that's why we are proceeding how we are. Yes.
I understand that and appreciate what you just said.
Yeah.
One of the reasons for the meetings is so that the word gets out to more people. So that's one of the reasons that I bring up things at meetings, whether it be about elections or other items that have come up in the last 2 years since I've been coming here.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate the meetings, and that's why I mention things at the meetings. So like I said, it gets out to the public more. Also, is like when we do emails or have private conversation, it's great because there's a dialogue, but then it usually just stops there, and it's hard to communicate to other people, especially because people are so busy. Because they're so busy. And then the other item is that on April 16th in Poconos, there was that, I guess was a boy, I don't know, the student that was, had a weapon, a firearm in his backpack in Poconos. That was April 16th.
Okay.
And that got some coverage. But what happened on April 14th, there were 2 students in Poconos, I forget which schools, but there were 2 students at the Poconos. One had a knife, a comb knife. I had to look up to see what that was.
Look, there's things that happen every day in school, or at our courthouse, but it doesn't have to be reported every time somebody finds.
But there's so much emphasis on firearms. That's my point. And the other one was a credit card knife. It's like,
Okay.
who ever even thought those things? So there's so much emphasis on firearms, but there's also other weapons.
Okay. All right, anyway, I would like, please feel free to contact the county. We're happy to meet with you if you have questions. A lot of times the questions are answered, and then if an assumption that was made is not made anymore and not announced as a fact at a meeting. So that would help clarify those things, and so I encourage you to reach out to us. Anything else, Commissioner?
Thank you.
Okay, I think we will announce the Board of Elections meeting at 10:30, the Salary Board meeting at 11, and Assessment Board at 1:30 p.m. And I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye.